Candace Owens knows nothing about foreign policy. Absolutely nothing. She keeps going on and on about what does this have to do with America? What does that have to do with America? What is that? It blows my mind that conservative political pundits in 2024 still seem to lack the comprehension necessary to understand why we are involved in foreign conflicts. Now, Candace Owens sat there and said in this video that because what's going on in Israel has nothing to directly do with America, we shouldn't be involved. This is unbelievably problematic, and I sound like a libtard when I'm saying I hate that word because it's so libtardy, but I'm going to use it. It's problematic. I'm going to go to war. I'm waging a crusade against all isolationist conservatives. I'm literally about to spend the entire week going to war against isolationist conservatives. I'm sick and tired of them. They piss me off to no end. So let's look at this because I'm frustrated and tired with this.
Make them angry, even if they don't really know necessarily what they're angry about. Now, for those of you that listen to my show, you know that as a regular beat, we constantly talk about the emotional engineering in our society, the emotional engineering that's taking place in American society that's meant to make us want to support causes, whether it's at home, like you should feel bad for an illegal alien and we should be funding this, even though it is to our detriment, or, and especially abroad. It gets especially senseless when we are being emotionally manipulated to want to support causes overseas. And I didn't support our money being sent to Afghanistan. I did not support our money being sent to Ukraine. I did not support, therefore, our money being sent to Israel. And I've especially been harsh when it comes to Ukraine. When that conflict broke out, don't forget, Ukraine was doing so much propaganda at that time, particularly Zelensky. Remember this photo that I absolutely lambasted? Zelensky with his wife for Vogue. What is that? Why are you on the cover of Vogue? If you are in a very serious war, you shouldn't make time for this. And then, of course, we had the...
Candace Owens. I like Candace. I do. I'm a fan. I like Candace. I do. But my biggest gripe with you, Candace Owens, is you find a gripe with everything. You are a hater. In the words of LeVar Ball, you are a hater. You are mad at everything. Zelensky stayed in his nation when it was invaded. There were hit squads sent to kill him. This man barricaded himself within a building alongside Ukrainian legislators and high-ranking government officials and stayed down. This man stood beside his people. He can't take a Vogue picture with his wife? I don't know about y'all, but I want memories. I want memories of this. I want to be able to look back 15 years from now and say, damn, this Zelensky did this. He did that. That's Zelensky and his wife right there. This is history. Frankly, I don't have a problem with Zelensky taking Vogue pictures. He's in Ukraine. He stayed there for the sake of national morale and for the sake of mission and unit cohesion, if you could put it that way. This man has stayed in Ukraine, made it incredibly easy for the West to organize resistance against Russia and to maintain Ukrainian sovereignty and independence. I don't care if this man takes a picture with his little boo. This is his what? What's the problem? You're mad at Zelensky for taking a picture with his little boo thing, but you're not mad at Vladimir Putin for ending the lives of hundreds of thousands of people. I want people who support this dumb shit to actually answer this. Y'all are mad at Volodymyr Zelensky for taking a picture with his wife, but you don't have a problem with Vladimir Putin ending the lives of hundreds of thousands of people, many of those people husbands and wives of someone, mothers and fathers of someone. Make that one make sense.
Associated Press, and he was all dressed up in army fatigues. Again, emotional manipulation. He's not fighting on the front lines. Why is he wearing army fatigues at all? Wear a suit.
This man has... Does Candace Owens understand how close Zelensky came to being killed? Does Candace Owens understand how close Zelensky came to being killed? Imagine someone breaking into your home and trying to kill you. Now imagine hundreds of thousands of enemy combatants in your country converging on your national capital, trying to not only take your nation's sovereignty, but to kill you. If you survive that, If you put out a message saying, I don't need a ride, I need ammunition, you have earned every right to dress up in fatigues if you want to. You've earned the right. Bro, you think NATO didn't offer Zelensky a way out? We did. We said, look, we will evacuate you from this war zone. We will evacuate you. We'll take care of you. This man said, no, I will stay here. I will happily die alongside my people. You can't respect a man who would fight for the sovereignty and the independence of his nation? We're Americans, and yet we're applauding and supporting Putin and demonizing Zelensky? What is going on with the conservative right? What's going on with y'all? Is there something going on at home? What's happening to y'all? Genuinely, I want to know, what makes y'all look at Putin and say, oh my God, we love you, and look at Zelensky and say, oh my God, we hate you? What is it about Zelensky? What did Zelensky do to y'all? And some of y'all that go on and on about freedom, 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 don't tread on me, freedom, freedom, freedom. Y'all will go on and on about freedom, and somehow or another worship a man like Vladimir Putin, who is working so hard to strip the Ukrainian people of their sovereignty and independence. The same Vladimir Putin who claims that the Ukrainian identity doesn't even exist. The same Vladimir Putin who runs a nation that has kidnapped tens of thousands of Ukrainian children and changed their names, forced them to speak Russian. This man is participating in basically ethnic cleansing, and y'all are supporting Vladimir Putin. Lord have mercy on conservatives. What is happening to y'all? Truly. Somebody help me understand what's happening to y'all. Y'all are lost souls.
And lastly, and this made me especially frustrated, when Zelensky appeared at the Grammys. What an absurdity. This is an American entertainment show. It's supposed to be an entertainment show, and it should be completely void of any sorts of overseas propaganda. So, of course, in the context of how I feel about this sort of a thing, it makes perfect sense that I would say that NGOs and the Israeli government should not be creating ads telling us that we need to call our senators, call our congressmen, and demand more funding for Israel, demand more support for Israel. That doesn't make sense. We are in America.
Candace Owens, can you please use the brain that I know you have? I know you're not dumb. Candace Owens is far from dumb. The problem with you, Candace, is number one, you call Zelensky's speech at the Grammys propaganda. A man pleading with the United States, the most powerful nation in the history of mankind, to help him and his people in the fight to resist Russian imperialism. You call that propaganda. Would it have been propaganda if in World War II we had the Grammys and the internet and YouTube and the president or prime minister? I'm not sure what the situation was for Poland at the time, but if the leader of Poland came out to us begging the United States to help them resist the German and Russian invasion, would that be considered propaganda? A nation fighting for their existence, their independence, their sovereignty, them pleading with, in my opinion, the greatest nation in the world for help, that's considered propaganda to you. That's propaganda. Where are your morals? Where are your ethics? What's wrong with y'all? Now, if someone invaded the United States and we needed help, and Joe Biden or Trump or some hypothetical leader, maybe even Barack, maybe we get lucky and Barack is the one to send a message, and we send a message to some award show in some other country saying, hey, thank you for your support, we need more support, we need more help, we're fighting the enemy. Would you call that propaganda when we're fighting for our nation's existence? I don't think you would. I genuinely don't think you would. Then to move on to your ridiculous point of, we're in America. We're in America. What goes on over there doesn't matter. We're in America. Candace, do you actually believe that foreign policy decisions are made in a vacuum? Do you believe that Joe Biden and his friends are playing Hearts of Iron 4 when they look at the world? Like, do you actually believe that's what's happening here? You do realize that what goes on in the world has economic impacts on everybody. The war in Ukraine, you do know that the war in Ukraine affected gas prices. The war in Ukraine affected food prices for nations in Europe, North Africa, and Asia. What's going on in Israel has caused a spiral where the Houthis in Yemen have been blocking up trade in the Red Sea, causing prices to increase on global trade. Do you realize that these conflicts are not as simple as not America, not our problem? You do also realize that in World War II, we didn't apply the logic that you applied. Eventually, actually, you know what? We did. We tried to stay out of these wars as best we could. And guess what happened? We eventually got drug in. The Japanese attacked us at Pearl Harbor. The Germans sunk boats. We had to get involved in the war. The idea that somehow or another we can turn our eye away from what goes on in the world is such an ahistorical, isolationist, juvenile perception of not only history but reality. Can conservatives please come back to the light? Please. What's going on with y'all? Hey, if y'all are on drugs, share them. I'm just saying. Y'all got to come back to the light. Candace, you're not dumb. You're not stupid, but you're acting dumb for sure.
Now, I want to be very clear on what my political philosophy is, because I feel like it's not a very difficult one to comprehend. So I'm going to it.
No, it's hard to comprehend. It's hard to understand how you in your 30s have such a simplistic view of how the world works. I'm really scared to see what your buddy Matt Walsh has posted on X. Like, I'm actually concerned because, like, y'all don't live in reality. So I'm really curious to see what y'all at the Daily Wire camp have cooked up tonight.
First point to my colleague Matt Walsh's tweet. He wrote this on Twitter. Sorry, I should say X yesterday. He wrote, "Foreign aid, by definition, is taxation without representation. Taxpayers are funding foreign governments without any say in how the funds are used. This country was literally formed to stop that sort of injustice. The whole system of foreign aid is corrupt, immoral, and evil."
Let me watch my words. These ninjas are literally retarded. Foreign aid is beneficial for everyone. Foreign aid decreases the odds of nations going to war with one another for economic gain. Foreign aid helps with infrastructure, containment of disease, feeding people, clothing people all around the world, making them more likely to participate in the global economy, making nations more likely to participate in the global economy. Okay? If a nation is receiving foreign aid and they're using it on their infrastructure, they are much more able to export and import goods from the United States. So the more money they have, and the better they are at taking care of their own people, the more goods they can buy from you know who. Us. You think these foreign aid deals comes with no strings attached? They don't. Even the aid we're sending to Ukraine, where do you think they buy their weapons from? They buy their weapons from U.S. defense contractors. Lockheed Martin, Raytheon, y'all hate those companies. They buy their weaponry, even down to the smallest bullet. They buy all of this stuff from U.S. defense contractors. American foreign aid does not go with just no strings attached. Furthermore, it solidifies the global dependency on the US dollar. It benefits us economically if our dollar is in global circulation, even if it's just through foreign aid alone. That benefits us globally if other nations are using our currency to fund their infrastructure, to then trade with us, to limit the spread of disease on a global level, to feed people, to take care of people. This limits the spread of disease, world hunger, war, and it increases economic development. Giving nations the option to develop economically instead of tearing one another limb from limb for the sake of a hope for development is a much better pathway. Much better pathway. Now, am I saying that foreign aid is never misallocated? Of course not. Of course not. But the reality is that foreign aid benefits us. Number one. Number two, here's the problem with Matt Walsh's comments. The idea that we're spending too much on foreign aid or foreign aid is just fucking up America's coffers is a lie. Myth number one, America spends too much money on foreign aid. Opinion polls consistently report that Americans believe foreign aid is in the range of 25% of the federal budget. When asked how much it should be, they say about 10%. In fact, at $39.2 billion for fiscal year 2019, foreign assistance is less than 1% of the federal budget. Myth number two, others don't do their fair share. The U.S. provides more assistance than any other country as the world's wealthiest nation. That's appropriate. There is a broad international commitment that wealthy countries should provide annually 0.7% of GNP to assist poor countries. 5 countries, Norway, Sweden, Luxembourg, Denmark, and the UK, exceed that benchmark. The average for all wealthy nations is around 0.4%. The U.S. ranks near the bottom at below 0.2%. The reason why I'm playing fact checker here is because it's so important for people who support folks like Candace Owens and Matt Walsh to understand that a lot of the news that y'all consume is literally just hype. It's just hype. If you do a simple Google search, you'll realize most of y'all's favorite political commentators are telling y'all is bull. I'm keeping it 100. And then, yeah, look, bro, trust me, I used to be a conservative. I used to be mad when liberals would always fact check shit. But at a certain point in time, it's like, damn, how much are the conservatives actually going to get wrong? Most of the shit is Googleable. There's no excuse for grown folk who spend their entire day researching political shit to not notice stuff. And yet here we are. It's ridiculous, but here we are. Matt Walsh says this: it should fill you with rage to think that food is being taken off of your children's plates and sent directly to foreign bureaucrats to be used however they see fit in ways that will not remotely benefit you or your family. The whole thing is completely insane. I can't believe anyone supports it. Matt Walsh, can you please explain to me what public spending bill you want to pass? Do you want to pass more welfare bills? Do you want to put more money in the pockets of poor people to feed their American children? You don't want to do that. Do you want to pass public health care? Is that what you want? I highly doubt that. So, Matt, and I'm a fan of Matt Walsh, by the way. I think he's a G. Matt, given the fact that you don't support any policies that fund poor people in America to put food on their children's plates, considering the fact that you don't care about public health care, considering the fact that you don't support not one bill that would take care of the American people with American taxpayer dollars, why are you complaining about foreign aid that helps better the world as a whole, right? Betters the world, benefits the global economy, keeps the world more stable than it would be without foreign aid, gives the United States economic and political leverage all around the world. Why do you want to limit our geopolitical leverage, our economic leverage, our military leverage, all in the name of American kids who don't have food on their plates when you never in your entire political pundit career have ever supported food being put on American children's plates by American bills being passed in Congress? You've never supported that in your life, as far as I know. So what are you crying about? Stop. Please cease the bullshit. Put it to rest. As Kanye West would say, in Jesus' name, no more cap. Why are y'all still playing this game of what about the American people? Y'all don't care about the American people. Matt Walsh, Candace Owens, and company. You lot have never in your political careers ever supported healthcare, welfare, any of that. You don't support the poor in America. You don't support the broke. You don't support health. You don't support any of these things. Why are y'all crying about foreign aid, which makes up like less than 1% of our GDP? Please stop it.
He goes on and he writes, it should fill you with rage to think that food is being taken off of your children's plates and sent directly to foreign bureaucrats to be used however they see fit in ways that will not remotely benefit you or your family. The whole thing is completely insane. I can't believe anyone supports it. I certainly do not support it, least of all when it makes zero economic sense. So I would now like to invite you to the tweets of Congressman Thomas Massie. He wrote this: the national debt is increasing at $318 million per an hour. That means the debt is piling up at about $1 per an hour per a U.S. citizen, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Imagine trying to work off this debt. He then shows a video of just how quickly Americans are going into debt. Look at this video. It's crazy. There it is. That's the U.S. national debt, ladies and gentlemen. And I want to be clear, I can barely say that number. It almost gives me numerical dyslexia. That's how long it's gotten.
So because there's a massive national debt, which you would expect from a nation like the United States, because there's a massive national debt, we just stop spending money completely. Like, this funding makes up less than 1% of our GDP, meaning it's chump change in the grand scheme of things. I don't know about y'all, but stopping Russia from possibly causing World War III seems really, really important. You can't really be like all that concerned about debt when the planet isn't where it was last time we woke up. Like, if If World War III happens, and you know Russia, they're going to lose, so they're going to press the red button and blow everybody up. If that were to happen, the U.S. national debt no longer matters because we're all dead. We don't want that to happen. So how do we stop this from happening? We stop it from happening by defanging Russia economically and militarily, which is what Joe Biden has been doing. And you two, Candace and Matt, are ungrateful. Y'all two are ungrateful. Facts. Big facts. Zelensky ain't the villain here. If Vladimir Putin never invaded Ukraine, you wouldn't even be talking about Zelensky. Right or wrong? Okay then. Fuck is we talking about? Foreign aid is a bad. So y'all want the whole world to just be chaotic. Y'all don't want good. Y'all don't want good trade. Y'all don't want good health care for human. You don't want anything. We are spending less than 1% of our GDP on making sure poor countries can participate in the global economy, mitigate disease, and for the most part, limit warfare amongst these countries. You think that is a bad thing, and you think because the national debt is rising for a myriad of reasons that somehow or another we're just supposed to just cut spending. Y'all have tried to cut spending on Social Security. You try to cut. It's like, what do you want? You sit there and complain about they're taking money, they're taking food off your children's plates and sending it to foreign bureaucrats. Simultaneously, the debt is too high. So what do you want us to spend money on poor American children or not? Because Republicans are notorious for not wanting to do that. So what I'm saying is this, because when you bring up welfare and taking care of the poor and taking care of all these folks, the first thing they talk about is the debt is too high. The debt is too. So I'm saying this, if the debt is too high for any kind of spending, shut the up. Real talk. Just stop talking. Go away. Go somewhere else, please. If you don't have any solutions or alternative plans, go away. Like, this is my problem with conservative. Y'all have no solutions. Zero. Y'all just talk. Y'all just yap. No solutions, no alternative options. Sorry, but what's going on in Israel deserves our, not undivided, but our as much attention as possible. What's going on in Ukraine needs as much attention as possible. These conflicts need to be contained and put out. How do we do that? By getting the United States involved. I don't trust any other nation with having oversight over these conflicts but the United States of America. I don't know about y'all, but frankly, I don't want a world where Vladimir Putin is becoming even more powerful. He need to sit his little ass down. He need to go lay down somewhere. Facts. He need to go chill. None of this Ukraine shit would be a problem if it weren't for Vladimir Putin. It's facts. Y'all, what are y'all complaining about? Conservatives, what's going on with y'all?
Should be outraged that that number keeps going up because people want to send money overseas. You should be.
See, y'all? You see how before we got to this point, I showed y'all the data disproving that the national debt is rising at significant levels because of foreign aid. Foreign aid to both Ukraine and all these other countries makes up less than 1% of our GDP. So as conservative political pundits are lying to I want y'all to bask in this moment. Watch in real time how political pundits lie to their audience and manipulate them. Real time. I showed y'all the information. I showed y'all how these motherfuckers was lying. Now I want y'all to watch with me how they lie to their audience and mislead them. Watch. We know this is cap, but let's just watch.
Outrage that they're trying to pull out your heartstrings when, listen, maybe I would be open to sending money overseas if I didn't look around me and see America in full decline. If I walked through neighborhoods and everything was perfectly paved and people were mowing and waving and everything looked clean and normal and we had low crime incidents and our borders were secured, maybe you could bring me to the point where I say, you know what, we have so much that we should share it for things that we believe matter in our country. But that isn't the circumstance right now.
Candace Owens, if you want a secure border, y'all, did you make a video, Candace, criticizing the GOP in Congress for igniting and torching that Biden bill? Biden offered to shut down the entire border in exchange for Ukraine funding. You know what your party did? They said no. They tanked the bill. Joe Biden offered to shut down the entire fucking border just so he could get funding to Ukraine. And you know what the Republicans did? They said no at the behest of who? Deontay, Darnell, Donald Trump. They did it at the behest of Trump. So as Trump is swinging his dick all over your party and fucking it up for everybody, I just want y'all to at least say something. At least do me, a libtard, the courtesy of making a video and conceding and saying, you know what, liberals, we suck cock. We take dick, we suck dick, we down bad. All we do is get dick down by Trump 24/7, and we torch the bill that would secure the border and our geopolitical interests because Daddy Trump said so. At least do that. Y'all can't even do that. All y'all do is cap, and then y'all come on this internet and lie to these good, hardworking, white conservative Americans who come home, plop down in the chair, turn on Candace Owens, hoping to God that she'll tell the truth, and instead they get this gobbledygook. Bro, what's going on? But like I told y'all, though, I gave y'all the facts, though. I gave y'all the information, though. I put y'all niggas on game, though. Did I not? I showed y'all that these folks was capped. We're seeing it in real time, though. Talking about if people were walking around and waving and jogging and oh my God, and no crime. Candace, you understand that some of that comes from like public spending? Hello? That requires us to spend money on the American people, something your party doesn't want to do. So pick a side. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, we're sending too much money abroad. What about American people? And then simultaneously say, we're spending too much money on all this stuff. The debt's too high. Y'all gotta pick one, bro. I don't know what you're like, bro. Like, y'all gotta get into some kind of zone where you have an actual plan. Because right now, y'all ain't got no plan.
Thomas Massie also authored this tweet. He wrote, the speaker just announced that next week the House will vote on a clean bill to send Israel $14.3 billion. Israel has a lower debt to GDP ratio than the United States. This spending package has no offsets, so it will increase our debt by $14.3 billion plus interest. That makes zero economic sense. As I said earlier on Instagram, this would be like basically I have $1 million in my account. You have $9 in your account, and I come to you to borrow some money. That would be foolish. That would be stupid. So why aren't we applying that economic common sense when it comes to sending money overseas? Not wanting to do that is, like I said, common sense. It is not anti-Semitism. And so I want to be very clear, by the way, on some other aspects of this. The implicit threat always when you get into politics is that you are not allowed to have any nuance. You have to be for something or against something. I will never, ever, ever be that person. I think, as you've heard me say on this show, that it is really sad that there are Israeli families that are missing. Of course, it's sad because they're innocent civilians and they shouldn't be involved in a conflict. It also pulls at my heartstrings and it makes me cry when I see the footage all over Twitter of Palestinian children that are being bombed into oblivion. When I see they're missing parts of their body and this implicit threat. Don't say it's sad. You're not allowed to say it's sad. It is sad. Of course it's sad. What kind of a monster are you if you don't think children being blown up is sad? You've become what you hate, right? You are literally no longer a good person. If you see a child that is growing up in that sort of existence anywhere and you feel nothing, that you feel that they somehow deserve it because of the actions of their government, really, right? We have no say over what our government is doing. If one day a group raises up and decides to bomb America, could you imagine if people said, it's not sad American children are dying. It's just not sad at all.
That's you, bruh. You have been running so much defense for Putin, you might as well be that person. And for you to be sitting there talking about, it's so sad the Palestinian kids are being blown up. It is sad. The problem with you is you don't understand the fact that civilians are going to die. The problem with y'all, bro, is y'all poison the well so crazy. Like, I'm not saying Israel is perfect, because Israel's not perfect, okay? Israel is far from perfect, okay? Let's keep it a stat. Israel is not perfect. But it blows my mind when y'all conservatives sit there and spew this nonsense about how, particularly Candace, about Palestine this, Palestine that. Y'all do realize Hamas did October 7th. The Palestinian people supported October 7th. Israel has to respond to that attack. That's an act of war. This war was going to happen no matter what. Could Israel possibly go too far in certain scenarios? Of course. But you, Candace, you have taken a strong pro-Palestinian stance. And I don't know how anyone who has read the history of this conflict would actually sit there and think that somehow or another Israel is the big bad bully. No one who's actually read about this conflict could possibly look at Israel like they're the assholes. The reality is that Palestinians still think in their head that they can just fight forever, and Israel's supposed to just play nice forever. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. The problem now, though, is that the conflict is spilling out beyond Israel and Palestine. Now, the Houthis want to get involved. Iran-backed militants want to get involved. We can't play with the global stability of the world because Palestinians are locked in this delusion of from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. That's never going to happen. You tried to invade and destroy Israel multiple times and have failed over and over and over again and have lost land as a result of how many times you've lost. Now we're supposed to risk the stability of the globe so you can have your 1 millionth attempt at losing. No. Am I not empathetic to the Palestinian people? No, I am. I am. But we have to be realistic. We have to be rooted in reality. There is no getting rid of Israel. Israel's not going anywhere. So what we have to do is come to a reasonable conclusion and solution. The problem right now is that Palestinians, specifically in Gaza, are so high on terroristic supply that they genuinely believe they're going to get a one-state solution in which the Jews are expelled from Palestine. That's never going to happen. There has to be a two-state solution. And I'm not saying Israel is bereft of insane ideas either. The problem is only one side is an irrational actor. Only one side is delusional. And in order for there to be a two-state solution, both sides have to be operating from a place of sanity. That's all I'm saying. But for Candace Owens and conservatives to play this game, that somehow or another we can ignore foreign problems because the national debt, just sick.
Again, I am not a coward. So to those people that routinely take me out of context and want to call me names, I want you to know that I literally do not give a shit. You are never going to control Candace Owens. Your actions are futile. You mean nothing to me.
She ain't lying.
Hatred and disdain for you. I think you're psychopaths.
She ain't
and
lying.
What I wish to say,
Candace ain't gone nowhere. Y'all have tried everything and it has not worked. She ain't lying, bro. Y'all ain't never gonna get rid of her. I'm just keeping it 100.
To you, utter psychopaths, is this. Israeli children, young children, they have dreams. They don't want to be at war forever for the rest of their lives. Young, innocent Palestinian children, they have dreams too. And what they are growing up in is madness, and it is sad. But guess what? American children have dreams also. And what we are seeing right now is not good for the future for those children. I am unapologetically America first. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
You're literally, you're a lost soul. Candace Owens, you are a lost soul. Hold up, Drake just dropped a new video. I'm looking at the Drake video. Hold up. Okay, sorry. I had to keep up with Drizzy. Let me explain something to y'all. America first. The reason why we're funding Ukraine is so that American people don't have to fight in Europe to stop Russia. The last time a European nation pulled some stupid shit like this was with Nazi Germany. We didn't have U.S. bases strategically placed all around the world to contain a conflict like we do now. We didn't have that. We didn't have a military-industrial complex capable of just sending weaponry over and containing conflicts. I mean, we had a pretty good military-industrial complex, but we didn't have one that was strong enough to just contain a conflict where it started. We weren't capable of that. We didn't have that strength. We made a lot of weapons, sent a lot of them to the Soviets, to the Allies, but what's going on in Ukraine right now is unprecedented in terms of strategic advantage that we have. And that comes from the military-industrial complex. That comes from having bases all around the world. In World War II, we didn't have these things. And as a result, we ended up having to fight a world war to stop Japan and Germany and Italy and originally Soviet Russia from destroying everyone and taking the world into a deep and dark place. We had to fight a war. But thankfully in 2024, thanks to the work of our predecessors who saw and learned from World War II and built things like NATO and other institutions and plans and ideas to stop something like World War II from happening ever again, aka World War III. Thanks to them, we've been able to contain the Ukrainian-Russian conflict exactly where it started. We've been able to contain it. We've been able to drain Russia economically and military. This nigga had to order Toys R Us weapons from North Korea. The Toys R Us bundle. Bruh, Vladimir Putin has ordered basically sticks and twigs from North Korea as weapons. He's in a bad spot. Vladimir Putin is the belligerent actor here, not Vladimir Zelensky, not Joe Biden, not none of this populist bullshit that y'all are peddling to the American people. Joe Biden and his cabinet, they're warmongers because they won't make a deal with Russia. Russia already had a deal, the Budapest Memorandum. They broke that deal and decided to start a war. They invaded Ukraine once, got Crimea, now they're back again. They're not the victims here. They've chosen war. And now Joe Biden and NATO have given Russia exactly what they asked for. If you want war, if you want to upend the lives of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Ukrainian people, you want to put the global economy at risk, you want to call the shots, by all means, let's go. What's good? We responded. We sent weapons. We sent intel. We sent food. We sent supplies. And Russia got that ass whooped. It's facts. It's big facts. Vladimir Putin's in a bad spot. Economically, militarily, and domestically. He wants a break, which is why, of course, there are, what about a deal? What about a deal? There's no deal. Y'all already had multiple deals. You turned them down in the name of imperialism and expanding your territory. Now you're paying the price. I don't want Americans fighting in Europe. How we stop that from happening, though, is by forcing the belligerent nation, Russia, to have no further option. Germany didn't start this war. Ukraine didn't start this war. The UK didn't start this war. Only one nation started this war. Russia. And I want nations like Hungary, with Viktor Orban, to learn their fucking lesson from what happens to Russia. Learn. Because y'all have been buddy-buddy with them for a while, then I could tell that y'all are all on the same team. Learn from what happens to them. Learn from Vladimir and his homeboys over in Russia. Learn from them. Try some shit like them and see what we do to your ass. That's all I got to say about that. I'm America first, but I understand that being America first comes at a price. You want to enjoy being the most powerful and most dominant nation in the world? That comes at a price, both financial and sometimes in blood. Thankfully, we've been able to minimize the price in blood because we've been able to contain these conflicts. The Israel-Palestine conflict spiraled so much, we lost 2 Navy SEALs in an operation. 2 Navy SEALs. We shouldn't have lost them. But we did, because Hamas attacked Israel on October 7th. Israel started winning the war, as they usually do. The Houthis decided they don't like their buddies losing in a war that they started and start attacking commercial ships in the Red Sea. We send our SEALs to solve the problem. We lose 2 SEALs. Somehow y'all will find a way to blame Israel for this. If we had lost 2 American military personnel in Ukraine or in Europe, somehow y'all would blame Zelensky. It blows my fucking mind how off the deep end conservatives have become. But it is what it is. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. I'm done talking about this. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.